Welcome to the Empowered Podcast with Deanna Merlino, an all-encompassing personal development show where I will be sharing with you just how to transform yourself into the best version of you, both inside and out. From wellness, entrepreneurship, spirituality, and manifestation, I'll be showing you exactly how to live your best life. I will be keeping it as real and raw as it gets. So get ready to peel back the layers and really transform yourself under the surface. Because nothing is better than finding your purpose and living this life as your true, authentic self. Okay, Empowered fam, I have been waiting for this a long time and it is official. I am now a spiritual life coach, and my program that I've built is here to help you remember that you are worthy and capable of healing and abundance by finding the confidence to authentically speak your truth and easily reach the level of success you desire through divine guidance. This coaching is going to be ideal for the individual who is ready to step into their higher self and achieve more time, more freedom, more money, and more love, or more anything else that you desire. The answers are not outside of you. They are in you, and I am ready to guide you in unlocking your next level. So if this sounds like something that you are interested in and you are ready for me to guide you in, then I am ready as well. If you have any questions, direct message me on my new Instagram and I will be sure to answer all of your questions and put your mind at ease. I cannot wait to step into this next level with you all. Let's get started. Welcome back, my empowered fam. Things have been crazy, to say the least, but crazy in a good way. So today is going to be a lot of story time and a little bit more about my new spiritual life coaching program, which I told you guys I would be talking about more. I'm just kind of like starting to dig into it a little bit. What are you going to get out of the program? But honestly, I just want to chat for a bit today because this is just one of those things where the universe loves when you take inspired action. And when you do that, it will line things up for you. It's probably not going to look like how you thought it would be. And it doesn't need to, as long as you get your desired outcome, right? Well, so I wanted to talk to you guys about my first official spiritual life coaching client. And I have gotten several others since, but this one was just story worthy. So for a little backstory, actually, I train a gentleman and his wife. They are both roughly around 70 years old, and they have been training Monday, Wednesday, Friday with each other for the last 30 years. After she had her last child, she essentially said, I want to commit to taking care of myself. And that is what they have been doing. And I have had the absolute joy of training these guys for the last couple of years. I actually picked them up through a friend. It was word of mouth right when I started coaching, and it was just a match made in heaven. And so this couple, they are so inspiring in every way, shape, and form. They are like bajillionaires, super successful, have had several businesses over the year, serve on several boards, very impactful, just all around good people. And it's really funny because the gentleman is honestly my largest network marketing client, like lives on this stuff. I have to consistently tell him, like, you need to actually eat food too. Like, you can't just live on the supplements, because again, we all know this, but I love to say it. It is a supplement to what you are already eating. It is to bridge the gap. It is not to be a miracle worker. But anyhow, so a lot of our time while we're training together is we just talk, we catch up on life. We're very same-minded. And there was a while back, and actually I had just started my certification for this. And he pretty much just flat out said, he was like, you need to be a life coach. I see it. And I kind of giggled to myself. I'm like, thank you. That's an amazing compliment. But I wasn't ready to tell him yet. And we have at no point in time crossed the boundaries of talking about spirituality. Like, I just haven't. We talk about literally everything, but me and him and his wife never really went there. And we were talking at the end of our session the other day, and I mentioned that I was going to be starting life coaching, and he was like taken aback, and he goes, no way, you really did it. I was like, yeah. And he just had this grin on his face, and he goes, is it related to spirituality? And I literally was like, what? Like, where did that come from? And he said, I just knew. I've always known, and I've been waiting for you to be ready to talk about that. So he just said I was putting out a vibe, and we were just kind of chatting about it. And he said, he's been in a rough place as far as like he works in the school systems too on board. So he sees a lot of things that he's not happy with. And he brings in a lot of high money clients to pay for funding and such. And they have very specific values. And when they're not being met, he gets upset. And so he has been getting overwhelmed by the state of the world, things that he's dealing with, where normally that stuff wouldn't bother him. So he was like, hey, I need to get my mind right. I need to get back on track with myself and these things and my habits. And is this not a breach like between you taking on a client that you already have as personal training? And I said, if it's not an issue for me, if it's not an issue for you. And so I'm taking him on. He was officially my first spiritual life coaching client. And it's just crazy because, again, he's a 70-ish-year-old male. Like, I never in a million years would have expected that. But here he is, my biggest supporter in all of my businesses. And he honestly feeds me clients all the time as well. So I'm super excited for where this is to go. But he even said, like, I don't want your beta testing price. Charge me full price. So it's just crazy. And that is my reminder for you guys that it's likely not going to look how you expect it, but it doesn't matter. And when you trust yourself and jump in and do the things that are on your heart, the way will always be taken care of. You will always be supported. I will be so honest with you guys. I have been at Fit Deanna Lolita for a very long time. And that was kind of my identity. Like, my friends call me Fit D. And I changed my Instagram handle, and it is now the Empowered Coach 333. And the Empowered Coach was taken, so I had to add the numbers, but those numbers are near and dear to me. Hence, go back and listen to episode 333 if you haven't. But when I changed it, when I announced that I was doing this spiritual life coaching program online, it was nerve-wracking. I was excited. And also it was like a transition. I was struggling with changing my name a little bit. And it's such a silly thing, right? We get so hooked up on it's a title, it's an Instagram handle, who cares? But it was something I identified with. But as soon as I stepped into this new version of me, which I've been getting messages over and over and over again, that once I step into this new version of myself, the floodgates were just going to open. And that is exactly what has been happening. So I wanted to share that story with you guys. And actually, I'm going to continue story time a little longer because this is going to roll right into the first things that we're working on in this program, which is yourself, how you perceive yourself, how you view yourself, and your mind, your mental state. And the other day I was at the rental properties. I was cleaning and I took a picture. I was holding a bucket full of cleaning supplies, toting a lifetime supply of toilet paper, and the other hand was holding towels and washcloths and such. And I took a picture and I posted something on my story, and it said something along the lines of, my family works really hard for everything we have. And if you see us winning, know that we earned it. And as soon as I posted it, even as I was posting it, something in me was like, change that thought. Because I've told you guys before, I have worked through so many limiting beliefs around money specifically, and none of them even faze me anymore, except for this one, which I have worked very hard on. No pun intended, working hard. And it is that I grew up thinking that you had to work really hard in order to be successful, working really hard in order to get money. And here's the thing. We are all born worthy. That's it. End of story. I am worthy. It's unconditional. And so when we attach that, I am worthy if I work really hard, then you're repelling money. You're repelling abundance unless you work really hard. And that's not the goal, right? My goal is I know that I am innately worthy. I know that money attracts to me easily and effortlessly. And I've worked through that. But even without thinking, I still made that statement. So I went back and corrected it after I didn't delete it. because that wouldn't be honoring myself and my thoughts. But I made sure to literally right after post, I am taking back my power in that statement and saying that I am divinely worthy as is. There isn't an amount of effort or work attached to that. So these are things that we're going to go into in the program, is digging into these limiting beliefs, because what you believe and what you perceive is what is going to happen. And so those first two things, that self and the mind, they're your basis. Like we have this, for some people that might seem like it's simple, but if you don't believe you are worthy, if you don't believe you're worthy of money, of love, of comfort, of safety, then you will subconsciously repel all of those things. You will find a way to sabotage the relationship. You will find a way to make sure you're not keeping your finances. You will find a way to make sure you're pushing the people you care about away from you. You will find a way, if you are afraid, or if you have a subconscious belief that you are not safe, or you are not worthy of safety because maybe you were abused as a child, and that safety is what we should all have and you didn't have it. You have come to believe that you are not worthy of being safe. Even if you might not think that, like you're not saying, I'm not worthy of safety, you believe that in your core subconsciously, and that's affecting your body. And you will find a way to lose the job, lose the opportunity, talk yourself out of something beautiful, and you don't even know you're doing it. It is literally, it will sabotage the things in your life. So we want to make sure that we're going in there and cleaning up every one of these beliefs that you may have and may not even know that you have. Especially when it comes to relationships. I mean, at the basis of everything is love. Like, love is the most important thing. Your self-love, you have to love yourself unconditionally. And if you do not, then you do not have the ability to love others unconditionally, and you don't have the capacity to accept love unconditionally. So we have to start at that base core level. Do you love yourself? Do you love yourself without condition? That's hard, friends. That's hard, but you're worthy of it and you can have it. And when you do, everything else will fall into alignment. One of the things that I'm going to be doing in the program, as you connect with yourself and your higher self, so that you can learn to have that divine communication, you can learn to have that open gateway to have messages, intuitive hits, guidance come through from your higher self and from your higher power. One of the things that I will be doing is a guided meditation specifically on this that I have curated myself. And when we were at the retreat, I practiced this, not knowing what to expect. I tried it on the guest. It was actually the last activity that we did. We did this guided meditation. I did an abundance meditation to align with your higher self and get intuitive hits, and then channel journal, which is essentially journaling with the messages and thoughts coming through, and then you putting it on paper. And this is how I helped you to manifest the things that you want. It would help you to break down who you really wanted to be and how you were going to get there. This was the craziest experience. So when you get comfortable doing this stuff and when you practice it over and over again, it is not uncommon to have a sober psychedelic experience. I just made up that word, but I kind of like it. Essentially, like, you're going to have a trippy experience and you are bone sober. You're kind of tapping into this other realm of information coming in. And so there was this girl, one of our guests, I'm not going to say her name, and we were doing this meditation, and one part of it, I was saying, and now you're traveling higher and higher and higher to meet your higher self. And this was a lot. I did a long process. I did a very in-depth process. And when it was all over and done, and she shared, I'm going to share what her experience was. And guys, this is trippy. It's crazy, but it's not crazy, but it's crazy. So what she was saying was, when I said that, it was like something switched. So she felt herself traveling higher and higher and higher. And all of a sudden she shot through the clouds. Mind you, this is all in her mind's eye. This is her experience. She was submersed in it. It was like it was really happening. Obviously, her physical body was still right there. And she said the clouds were all pink and she was in what she perceived as heaven. And she felt so loved and felt just love in a way she couldn't put into words, and that she'd never felt, an all-consuming just love. And then she saw in the clouds made of pink a coffin, and she felt urged to get in, and she got in the coffin, and she said it was very uncomfortable, and she surrendered. She told herself she was being guided to surrender. And obviously, again, guys, she wasn't physically dying, but an old version of herself was. And as I shared last time, shedding an old version of yourself can be very difficult. But on the other side of that is a lot of beauty and the next steps and that next version of yourself. So after she surrendered, she then said she felt herself shoot even higher and was like up into the solar system. Again, she was like surrounded by love. This wasn't a scary experience. And she was part of the solar system, and she was like a planet floating around the earth. And when it ended and she came back into her body mentally, she got up and she walked out, and she was super upset. It was a very overwhelming experience. And she literally had to be like, am I like physically here? Like, am I alive and well? And obviously she was, and she shared, and it was super powerful. But she said for the first time in her life, she physically connected to her higher self, mentally, physically, whatever you want to call it. And she literally saw her, and it was like her, but glowing and confident. And she had red hair, and it was just, she was able to see it so specifically. And now she has made that connection and that channel with her higher self. It's you. It's just the best version of you. It is the you that you strive to be. It is the you that is living these dreams and these manifestations and these desires that you want, again, on a different timeline. You're just not there yet. You haven't become it, but it is you. Now that's there. And I'm going to guide you through that process of connecting to your higher self, and it's going to make life a lot easier. You feel guided, and it's a safe guidance. It's you, just the you that knows the right answers and the right path. And we all deserve that, honestly. You deserve to have access to that at all times. And so real quick, I'm just going to go through, I'm going to not take too much longer today, but I'm going to go through the 4 stages of this, my signature life coaching program. And the first stage is going to be building comfort and clarity, opening the door, building trust. What is your current reality? A lot of story time, picking your brain and what it is that you can expect out of this experience. And then we're going to move on to the second stage. And this is building a blueprint specifically for you, tailoring it to you. And we're going to lay down the groundwork, create a plan. We'll start very simple by dipping your toe into the water and start gaining that traction. And then the third stage, we're going to commit and submerge. We're going to follow a plan. I'm going to support you in following this plan. We're going to build your habits, that habit stacking that you know I love. And I'm going to look for growth along the way. We're going to make sure we point that out. Sometimes when we're in it and we're not physically seeing an outcome as yet, it's hard for us to realize how much growth we're actually experiencing. And that can be discouraging. So that's what I'm here for, is to show you that growth and then point out any changes that are happening. And the final stage is going to be what I'm calling blast off. It's working. The habits have been laid. Things are now manifesting. You're cultivating your specific gifts. And then we figure out what's next. And I set you free. And then it's time for you to fly. And I'm really excited to be able to offer this for you guys, because I know how powerful that it's going to be. And, real quick, if you're wondering, if you've been back and forth since hearing about this, I want you to know that even though I am just launching this, I have a lot of experience and knowledge in this realm. And being a multi-entrepreneur and having a platform and having my own proof of concept, learning to have a voice and be in a state of self-love and be authentic and growing myself and a brand at the same time, and being able to find the answers. I've done all these things, and now it is my turn to return the gift to you. I practice what I preach so that I know exactly what I'm going to be giving you guys. I'm doing it too. I will continue to be doing it, but I have been doing it. If there are a specific couple things that I could say that I am going to help people with through this program, for this, what we talked about in this episode, I'll relate it to this, is self-love. I already explained why you need it and you deserve it, but it's so important. And finding your voice. I remember a time when I felt I didn't have a voice, from neglect, from abuse, from fear, from lack, fear of judgment, fear or lack of belief in myself. I want to help you find your voice, and actually going back to that too, I want you to learn to believe in yourself again. No matter what you've been through, no matter how many times you've quote unquote failed, no matter what your reality looks like right now, I want to help in transforming you and empowering you to create the life that you truly desire to live. The heart tugs, you need to follow them. The things that are on your heart, God put them there for a reason. And you might not know the way, but let me help you find the way. Guys, I love you all so much. I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week. And if you are ready to jump in, then DM me. Again, my new Instagram handle is The Empowered Coach 333. DM me the code word beta, and you will get my highly discounted rate on my new program. I haven't decided when I'm going to pull it yet, but I will pull it at some point. I don't want too many clients, and this is just a testing phase. So love you all so much. Have the best week, and I will see you next Monday. Thank you all so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to find out more, you can follow me on Instagram at The Empowered Coach 333. You can also visit me on my website, which is deannamerlinofit.com. Make sure that whatever platform you are listening on, please leave me a 5-star rating, subscribe, and take a moment to write a review. This means so much to me, and it's going to get me out there to help so many other people. I'm so grateful that you are here with me on this journey of awakening and self-empowerment. I cannot promise that it will always be easy, but I do know it will always be worth it. Stick with me, and together, let's start living as the version of us that we were meant to be. Because the world is waiting for your gifts, and you deserve to live the life of your wildest dreams and beyond. So friends, let's get empowered.